welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, October 16th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. We'd like to start by thanking the NHS Friendship Club students for the new additions to our desk and helping us get ready for Halloween. Thanks so much. Last week, Superintendent Dr. Thompson released that there was a positive COVID case within the Norwood School District. During the spring and summer, in partnership with the health department, the school administration worked tirelessly to put the proper protocols in place if there was a positive test result. Once finding out about the most recent positive case, the school administration acted quickly.
Our procedures and protocols were based on ongoing conversations with the Board of Health, and that started last March when we were dealing with the initial outbreak here in Norwood. Those procedures for cleaning and how we're going to conduct ourselves are all in that reopening plan that is on the school website. That was first released the beginning of August. I keep referring people back to that document. When we designed our hybrid model, we did it to maximize and try to keep cohorts separate so that you've got a group of kids in for one part of the week, you have a break, and you have a group of kids in for the second half of the week. And the reason for that is that there is a separation, at least in the schools, so you don't get two cohorts, one cohort infecting another cohort. So we were very purposeful in designing that methodology. So from that, we continue to have conversations, go through scenarios. You know, technically when you talk about strategy, you talk about table talk exercises. We did that with the Board of Health. And there is another document that is on the website that goes through that. This was released the end of August to families, and again, posted on the website, and it goes through what the different scenarios are. So, and basically what happened last Friday is that we had a positive case. We had a positive student. We worked with the Board of Health. We had our nurses working with the Board of Health last spring doing contact tracing. So they are very up to speed with that. But the Board of Health, as well as the school nursing and the school administration, worked to contact trace to identify close contacts who could possibly develop symptoms. If you are considered a close contact, then you would be asked to quarantine for 14 days, because usually symptoms and being able to infect others happens in that time frame. A close contact is someone who has been within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more. That is a Board of Health definition. That is a CDC definition. It is following the guidance. And I know a lot of people out there think that, well, I think this and I think that. We are following the best advice of the public health professionals. The close contacting is not happening in the schools. So even though there were teachers in the rooms with that particular student for a day, they were not a close contact because of the social distancing, because of the mask wearing. So, you know, what we ask and, you know, what has happened is that we are asking parents to daily go through the checklist. The checklist was shared out a week and a half ago. Again, but for just as school reopened, again, it is in the reopening document, but it goes through what the symptoms are, and we should go through and kind of self-check if we have any of those. And if you are exhibiting those, just on the abundance of caution, stay home, see if those symptoms develop, and if needed, get a test.
The newly formed Facilities Department also responded quickly with a deep clean of the school.
First, it's really important to know that we have been spraying in the schools for the last 4 years. We started working with the nursing department and spraying for flu season, for any stomach viruses. So all our guys are comfortable and well equipped to do the spraying. And what we're doing now is we've increased our contact disinfecting procedures. We're doing it every day. The teachers do it in their classrooms after each of the classes. And then at night, we thoroughly go through the schools. We're doing bathrooms every half hour to 40 minutes. And on Wednesdays, which is the deep clean day, we actually do not only the disinfecting, the hand disinfecting, but we spray the whole building with disinfectant. And we do that again on Friday night and Saturday, or Friday night or Saturday, excuse me. So we are, I think, ahead of the curve and we have enough product, and we're just going forward, and as things change, we adjust and adapt to those changes.
Thank you to all the departments for implementing the protocols that were put in place. The quick response kept many people safe. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
On behalf of the Alliance for Community Media and our foundation, we want to congratulate Norwood Community Media for their excellence work in 2019. And we also want to congratulate the town of Norwood for investing in community media that reflects the needs of its people. You do great work every day and every week, and you should be proud.
It's a sign of our commitment to the town we serve. Norwood Community Media is honored to receive the Alliance for Community Media National Award for Overall Excellence for our weekly Norwood News hosted by Kristen McDonald, Norwood Digest with Jack McCarthy, Your Town at Work with Jerry Slater, Sports Extra with Mark Hoover and Joe Meehan, live broadcasts of town events, and gavel-to-gavel coverage of town government. The station people turn to for trusted local coverage. Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back. Training is underway for the police department this week. The members of the department are all participating in the fall firearms training. Due to COVID, there have been some minor changes from how the department's trainings are usually run. For more on this, we go to Chief Brooks.
Our training is all organized by and overseen by Lieutenant Dave Benton, who's in charge of professional development here. A few years ago, we took a lot of the training we were going to and we moved that in-house. Years back, members of the department went to training at a regional academy. We sent 2 a week so that over the course of the year, eventually the whole department would get trained on the same topics. But a few years ago, I moved that all back, so it's all now in-house. We have our own instructors. The officers are all trained in presenting training material to our officers. They're all state certified, and we use our own instructors. For the most part, we close down our training during the summer and we start up again in the fall, and we really are training on something really from September all the way through next May. So right now we're out at the firing range doing firearms training, and so what we've done there, of course, is again we're using our own instructors, Norwood police officers who are state certified trained firearms instructors. Because of the COVID issues, we're running more training classes with fewer officers, and that allows the officers to spread out on the range. We also take the group of officers that's going to the range and we split them in half. One group shoots at paper targets and qualifies, shooting a state qualification course where the fire is on a paper target from a particular distance and a particular number of rounds that are set by the state. And those rounds have to land on the paper and land on target, and the officers are scored, and they're given a qualification score. When they move to the other side of the range, the training becomes a little bit more realistic. Now, for instance, in one case, the officers are placed in a radio car, and they're told to fire on the target, told how many rounds to fire, and they fire at steel plates that are all spread apart. The other thing, is that we look at what's going on around the country, and we look at what's going on around policing, and then we tailor our training to address those issues. For instance, in some police shootings, you see the officers fire a lot of rounds. The round count is high. Well, we never on the range tell our officers to empty a magazine. We just never do that. The most number of rounds our officers will fire from a handgun is 5 rounds. But in the vast majority of instances, they're told to fire 1 round, 2 rounds, or 3. In other words, we keep the round count down in training so as to address that issue of a high round count should there be an officer involved shooting. So we'll be training really throughout the month of October and into November on firearms training. Once firearms training ends, we have classroom training set up for the officers, and we'll move into that. So, I just think that training, education, development is important. We do it all the time. I'm really very, very pleased with the caliber of instructors we have in-house. They're really very, very competent. The officers get good training, good information, and we're doing it all the time so that we can provide better service.
Thanks, Chief. The Lower Balch ball fields and playgrounds are currently getting a facelift thanks to the Community Preservation Committee. The first phase of the Community Preservation Project is nearly complete, and Rec Department Superintendent Travis Farley explains the progress.
Hi Norwood, Travis Farley here with the Norwood Recreation Department. We're here at beautiful Elliott Field on this nice fall day. We've had a lot of activity down here this fall. We just want to update everybody of what's going on down here. And actually we've completed the first phase of our CPC project. You're starting to see the results of adopting the CPC. We're here at the old playground. We actually removed those elements. We actually lost a tree in that storm we had in late June. We had 6 trees donated by Pathfinder Tree in Norwood, so thank you Pathfinder Tree. You can see those trees in the playground area. We've actually set up an outdoor classroom area which was part of the CPC project. We're already seeing classrooms, or Balch School use it for outdoor classroom space. We're going to be using it for nature program down the line. You can use it for PTA after school programs. We hope the residents can use it on weekends and nice days as just an area to come do passive recreation. We are going to be doing a floor hockey or street hockey and basketball resurfacing over the next, hopefully in the spring, and actually adding a ADA accessible ramp from the upper area to the lower area. We hope you like some of these updates. That was all part of the CPC project for this area. You're starting to see the perks of adopting that, Norwood, so thank you very much.
Farley also has an update on the civic weight room hours for this fall.
As the fall progresses, we just want to update on everybody on what our schedule is and what our weight room and what we're doing for fitness classes. In mid-October, October 17th, we are going to be opening up on Saturdays. We're going to be offering weight room times at 8, 9, and 10, in addition to our Monday through Friday, 8, 9, 10, and then 3, 4, and 5. Again, these are all by appointment only. You can register for these times the Friday before, starting at 8 a.m. Please call the Civic 781-762-0466 to register for any blocks of these times. They are limited to 1 a day. We're also offering a variety of fitness classes here at the Civic Center in the gymnasium, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. So more information, please call the Civic with those. We are going to try to do virtual fitness classes, hopefully in November. So please stay tuned. But we hope you're doing well, Norwood, and please come visit us if you can, if you want to work out.
And now we're going to toss it over to Juliana O'Neill with the school news.
I'm Juliana O'Neill, president of the class of 2021, and I'm excited to bring you the school news this year. Let's get right at it and take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. The Friendship Club is one of the longest running clubs at Norwood High School. Members of the club make new friends along the way and also learn life skills at the same time. Here's club advisor and NHS Spanish teacher Michelle Kelly.
So the Friendship Club is really a place and a space where people can come that don't necessarily, you don't have to be athletic, you don't have to be musical, you don't have to be artistic. It's a space where you come together and try to make connections with other people as friends, right? We learn a lot about what type of things that we have in common with people, and also respect the differences. And we help each other, we help out in the community as well. And it's a place where really you can learn some valuable life skills that every single person could use.
Thank you, Senora Kelly. Your passion for the club is obvious. I'd also like to add that many graduates of the Friendship Club have become teachers themselves. We'll continue to provide highlights throughout the year. The Little Mustangs Preschool Academy was excited to welcome back their Little Mustangs this fall. Staff was very busy this summer creating new routines and procedures to ensure the health and safety of our students, staff, and families. Each student has their own desk and mat, which they are able to learn and play at each day. Teachers create busy bags and other learning activities to use as their playstations, which can be switched out and sanitized between each use. While the classroom may look different this year, you can still hear the hum and buzz of children learning throughout the day. The staff have been very proud at how well the boys and girls have been doing wearing masks and practicing social distancing. Learning activities have been taken outdoors to allow for some mask breaks, as well as to create new opportunities for learning. Outdoor obstacle courses have been spray painted onto the grass to develop coordination and balancing skills, as well as provide practice for color and shape concepts. While preschool may look a little different this year, the Little Mustangs are not going to let COVID-19 stop them from learning and laughing. At the Oldham School, the PTO is having a fundraiser at Bertucci's on Wednesday, October 28th from 11 to 9 p.m. The Oldham will receive 15% of the proceeds, and flyers are available on the school's website. Thank you to Bertucci's for helping support our schools. Very active on Twitter is Principal Brian Riley at the Prescott School. Recently, he tweeted out about the 5th graders' summer reading work and highlighted a new bulletin board in school. You can follow him at Riley Principal. At the Cleveland School, the students have been taking advantage of this beautiful fall weather and have taken the learning outside. To stay up to date on Cleveland activities, sign up to receive the Cleveland Connection, Principal Nancy Coppola's bi-monthly electronic newsletter. It is a great way to learn about Cleveland school news. At the Willett School, kindergarten students have also been taking advantage of the nice fall weather. Here, students are taking a break from class and playing outside during recess. All you need is a ball, a jump rope, and a few toy houses, and the children will take care of the rest. There is some exciting news at the Balt School. Every week, Jeffrey Riley, the Massachusetts Commissioner of Education, sends out a weekly update. Every update features a picture of the week, and recently, a picture from the Balts was selected. In this picture, 2nd and 3rd graders were safely spread out during lunchtime. Congratulations to the Balch School. The Coakley Middle School also got a shout-out recently for Mass STEM Hub, an organization that provides access and support for STEM education. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. To stay up to date with the Coakley Middle School, subscribe to the Mustang Minute. Principal Dr. Margot Frazek highlights many of the activities, and you'll also learn about upcoming events at the school. Another way to stay connected with the school is follow Dr. Frazek on Twitter at @mfrazek. And finally, at the Callahan School, the staff created a bulletin board using Bitmojis for each teacher wearing a mask. Students have enjoyed seeing the staff as Bitmojis. Also at the Callahan, a safety update video was produced by the school department and shared with the community. Let's take a look.
There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week.
We're up and running at the Callahan School, and the learning is the same. However, we have many new procedures in place to minimize risks and ensure the safety of our staff and students. In terms of arrival, we have changed how students enter the building. So each grade level comes in a different doorway that is manned by a staff member. Students are using hand sanitizers when they enter and exit the building every time. And then they are walking with a staff member to their classrooms with 6 feet social distancing in the hallways. And when students are waiting outside, we have placed X's on our sidewalks to make sure that students are waiting 6 feet apart before they enter the building. Traffic patterns in our hallway have been altered, where we have an up stairway now and a down stairway now. We have switched our bathrooms so that each bathroom is given a different grade level to minimize the number of students using the bathrooms, and those are clean on a regular basis, hourly, by our custodians, who are doing an amazing job. As far as classroom setups, all desks are 6 feet apart, forward facing. We are using the plexiglass shields brought to us by Jill Driscoll and our phenomenal nursing staff. We have blue bins and yellow bins. So as you know, we have the blue cohort and the yellow cohort, and all of the individual materials for the students' desks are placed in those bins. And when the blue cohort leaves, the blue bin is taken out and the yellow bin is put in for the students for the yellow cohort. That is after deep cleaning, which is done Wednesdays and Friday and Saturdays. So we feel pretty good about the level of cleaning. As far as with our recess setups, we went out and bought individual laundry baskets and have individual items such as balls, tennis rackets, things that can be wiped down, and those are marked with the room number so that there's no cross-contamination of students using different playground materials. Our 1st and 2nd graders have recess bags where the teachers, they bring in favorite items from home, and they are kept in their recess bags, and when they go outside, they are sitting 6 to 10 feet apart, playing with toys from home, or using what we have, as far as our recess items. As far as cafeteria, there are many new changes in our cafeteria, and I never thought I'd say this, but the cafeteria is actually delightful now. The noise level is reduced greatly because we went from 2 lunches to 4 lunches, and students are sitting at desks. The desks are assigned. The desks are again forward facing, 6 feet apart, and Students sit at the same desk every time they come down to the cafeteria. They do not go through the cafeteria line. They are, the lunch is brought to them, and when they're ready to clean up, we have barrels that the staff walk around, and the students put their trash right in the barrels. In addition, we added extra hand sanitizers to the cafeteria, recognizing that we had a little bit of a traffic jam when students were exiting to go outside or entering. So after students finish their lunch and cleaned up, they come up one at a time, hand sanitize. We are not having children push in their chairs, which is unusual for them, so that we know which chairs we clean. And we have 10 minutes in between every lunch so that the kitchen staff and myself and the custodians, we wipe down every surface. We've turned the desks so that the open part of the desk is not facing the students, so that there's nothing that can be done, as far as getting any materials into those desks. As far as recess, we are using our playground. We have different areas that classrooms are playing in. They're keeping their masks on if they're in any kind of a game situation that might get some contact, but we are really minimizing the types of activities that students are doing to maintain 6 feet social distancing. And once our playground has the mulch down, we will be using the playground, but for right now, it is not accessible, and we will be making sure that students wash their hands before they go on and off the playground and limiting groups of students on there. As far as dismissal, it is a similar procedure to our arrival, where students exit at their set doorways. Parents are waiting for their children, again, socially distancing, and we're asking families to exit the school grounds once they pick up their children and not play in the field as we had done normally on other times. We are minimizing people coming into the building as well, and making sure that we're following all protocols. And we also have what is now our quarantine room should someone become ill and need to have access to a space that is designed solely for that. Those are some of the major things that we've done, and the feedback we've gotten from parents has been extremely positive. We did share this out with parents prior to the start of the school year, and our staff have worked diligently to ensure safety. We love seeing all of our children back in the building, and it is just such a pleasure to work with such an incredible group of families, staff, and administration, and we can't thank them enough for all they're doing to support us to make this year a fantastic year at the Callahan.
Well, that's it for the school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's go to Brian Dunn for the latest sports news.
Hello everybody, and welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn, and the first official weekend of the Fall 1 season has come to a close, and there was plenty of action to go through. I'll let the wonderful NCM commentary team take you through every goal of the slate of soccer matches that took place over the weekend. Here's a recap of what you missed.
Finley with the ball. Oh, nice.
There he is through.
Oh,
he buries it.
Nicely done.
4:20 left in the first quarter. That was a nice setup there. It was just kind of, small little thing. Again, being able to set the ball to start the whole play by just moving it forward. Evans on the run. He's going to be able to pull in and stop, change direction, and he's able to bury it.
Nice.
Woo!
There we go.
Yuri Neves.
Oh, and that would be the final whistle.
There we go, and that's the look we're looking for there as Norwood is able to open up its 2020 season with a very impressive, Eric, I thought a very impressive 2-0 win.
Audience in Burlington, Vermont, a little happy. I hear rumors there might be someone up there with an interest in this game.
Oh!
Well, how about that?
Look at that.
Yep, and the freshman scores.
Yeah.
Little elbow bump it out there.
Nice job.
That's a good way to finish a quarter.
Yeah, Aiden Keogh there with the goal, and I think it just kind of, the ball was just kind of sitting there.
No long defense.
Oh, it's going to do it. That is going to do it for your Norwood Mustangs. Starting out the season with a big 1-0 win over the Mohawks from Millis on freshman Aiden Keogh's first goal.
And it's not. Oh,
nice
there we go. All right. There we go. Come on. There. Now we go. Come on, Samantha Rose.
Oh, that's
go, Samantha.
Let her rip.
Come on. Yes, He's going to win.
Oh, that was
beautiful.
Absolutely.
Does the goalie get credit
brilliant.
for that too? Does she get?
Oh yeah, well it all started there.
Is outside with the goalie up to
fantastic
All right, now
transition.
And there it is.
And that's it.
That's the ball game.
That is the ball game. What a fantastic
This is awesome.
ending. That was so great. Settle that ball down here.
Ellie Steves maybe I think almost had a play in that ball, but
Paige Barnett there with the shot in.
So oftentimes you'll see the opposing team will stand over the ball because they don't want the quick start. They want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was one of those 1 in a million.
Yep. A tough loss here as the Mustangs come up short again. Back-to-back games of 1-0 losses to this Millis squad, but again, a Millis program that is extremely talented. We saw that early on, Eric, in terms of their movement to the ball.
In cross-country action this week, both boys and girls drew up a decision to Millis at the Colquitt Middle School Racing Grounds, where the girls were defeated 50-15 and the boys were defeated 37-19. We caught up with both coaches Matt Curran and Amy Worcester for the report.
Overall, it was a little disappointing. We lost 19-37. Millis came in. We knew they had a good 1-2. Their third kind of surprised me. Their number 3 runner made a huge leap from last year, so that was a little unexpected. When you go 1-2-3 against a team, in cross country, you can't recover from that. However, from our results, I mean, we had a pretty decent day. Some of the younger veterans, so to speak, the 2 sophomores, Dylan Hamway and O'Brien, came in right where they left off last year. Jacob Bodenhofer improved upon last year. Preston Coyle, a senior who you can tell came in shape, and it showed. He had dropped his time by over a minute, even from just last year's race. So, disappointed in the loss, but as far as times go and for the first meet, it's definitely something to work with and to think of as a positive.
Last week went pretty well. It was our first meet of the season, and we haven't competed since February, so we were just really excited to get back to competing. Olivia Bodette was our first finisher. We're about where we were last year in the middle of the season, so we're hoping we can have a big improvement to the end. Personally, we're going to be just looking at our own trying to get a personal best. So we're just looking to improve and run our best times later in the season. We're hoping to end the season with PRs, and we're looking forward to our senior day, which will be against Dedham in 2 weeks.
And finally for golf, the team hit the road this week after a hefty slate of home competition at Norwood Country Club to take on Westwood and Medfield. The decision to Medfield was dropped 248-239, and there was a loss of Westwood to round out the week. And we pick up right where we left off this weekend, and the opponent this time is Dover Sherborne. Be sure to tune in live to NTM as our weekend coverage begins at 11 a.m. tomorrow with boys JV soccer. And that's all for sports this week. Thank you for watching, and keep it here next week for the recap of all the action versus the Dover Sherborne Raiders. Kristen, back to you.
In government, the Board of Health met on Tuesday for their monthly meeting. Superintendent David Thompson and School Committee Chair Teresa Stewart were in attendance to discuss the DESE letter to school committee members if the case count increases and the district is designated as red or high risk. Superintendent Sigal Reese updates the board on the new regulations.
We received a letter from DESE explaining that schools should wait 3 weeks in the red category before pivoting to fully remote. Like with most things with COVID, I think that depends. So the scenarios we talked about was, let's say, Norwood's case count increases, so we become a designated red community, a high-risk community. That, for instance, if we know that there's a cluster in a nursing home or some other facility, and that maybe there isn't that much community spread, maybe we do wait those 3 weeks to see, what happens to the data. But the reverse could also happen. So let's say we have an increase in cases and we know a lot of them are associated with school activity or school cases, then maybe we don't want to wait the 3 weeks. So I think it's really important to talk about the trends and what's actually going on the ground before making any decisions. So one idea that we've been floating around between both boards is if we do go into the red, that we have a joint meeting with the school committee and the Board of Health and have a discussion about what the cases look like. And we can do that at that first week that we go into red and sort of make a decision if we want to wait, if we want to see what the next week's data look like, or if there is, a lot of cases associated with the school, do we want to make plans to pivot earlier, again, to fully remote.
Impact Norwood's Program Director Aubrey Seall delivered her monthly report and announced Impact Norwood's new podcast. Segal Reese talked about continuing to maintain COVID-19 safety rules for workplaces. A new body art shop is looking to open up a place in Norwood, and the board opened up discussions about updating the town regulations over the next few weeks. The board will continue discussions on this at their next meeting on Tuesday, November 10th. The Board of Selectmen met in the Police and Fire Community Room for a hybrid meeting Tuesday evening. The board hosted many virtual guests, including Mark Ryan and Jimmy Collins, to submit monthly reports from the DPW and Light Department. Public hearings included a show cause hearing for Olivardi's and a proposed plan for property improvements on Rosemary Street. Some approved agenda items were the election warrant for Tuesday, November 3rd, and a request from Veterans Agent Ted Mulvihill to hold a virtual Veterans Day event. Toward the end of the meeting, the board discussed the possibility of creating a community outdoor ice rink in the town common.
Well, my thought is it sounds nice to continue to add things to the town's activities and make available to the public. I am concerned about the expense. I think this could get up quite expensive, and I don't want to necessarily be using free cash and whatever. So you mentioned trying to get grants or donations or whatever. I think that would have to be, if not all, the lion's share of the costs personally. That's just my personal view, but the concept is great. I think the parking lot is a lot better idea than Central Street for technical reasons, and as well as you mentioned trying to have that chiller set up properly and everything.
In the closing remarks, Selectman Helen Donahue addressed the communities to stay informed on the important articles up for discussion at town meeting.
There are lots of articles about zoning. Lots of excellent work has gone into the preparation of these zoning articles. And they bring forth major changes in the town, especially on Route 1. And so in the local newspapers, there are ways that you can attend a hearing which will be held on October 19th about these zoning articles, some of them on October 19th. So when you go to the newspaper, even if you don't have a computer in your house, you can still use your telephone to access the public hearings. And at the public hearings, the proposed articles will be discussed and talked about and worked on.
The Board of Selectmen will reconvene again soon. Also Tuesday night, the Trails Advisory Committee met and began the meeting with the trail report for the multiple trails around town. Following the trails report, the committee discussed the Hennessy cleanup that took place on September 26th and an update on the Eagle Scout projects that are taking place at the trails around town. Upcoming events for the Trails Committee is a Progress Norwood Trail Walk on October 24th, Shattuck Park cleanup on October 31st, and a St. Street lot cleanup to take place in November. The next Trails Advisory Committee meeting will be on October 27th. Wednesday was a busy day in town government with 4 meetings taking place. In the afternoon, the Airport Commission began by paying tribute to former longtime Commissioner Les LeBlanc. Les served on the Norwood Airport Commission for 16 years and was also an aerial photographer for many years. The Commission also received an AIP update from Jeff Adler of Du Bois & King. The Airport Commission will meet again in November. Later that evening, the Community Preservation Committee began their meeting with a discussion on the town meeting proposed projects. The committee approved the proposed projects and discussed the format and motions that were to be brought to town meeting. To end the meeting, the committee reviewed the CPA financials, business, and updates. The committee is scheduled to meet again in November. In the third meeting of the night, the Board of Selectmen held a joint meeting with the Planning Board to discuss proposed overlay districts that will be voted on at the annual town meeting. Many areas, including Route 1, Norwood Hospital, and the Vanderbilt Avenue area. The night's final meeting was the Finance Commission, who spent a majority of their meeting discussing the school department's FY21 update with members of the school committee and the school administration. Following the school department budget discussion, the committee began by reviewing the special town meeting articles for this November's town meeting and the financial strategy for FY21. The meeting ended with a discussion on the long-term financial forecast. The next Finance Commission meeting will be on October 28th at 7:30. The Planning Board has been hard at work developing plans and presentations for the proposed amendment that is up for discussion at the special town meeting in November regarding the Route 1 corridor study and rezoning initiative. The Planning Board held a virtual information session with town meeting members to present proposed plans and changes to the zoning bylaw. This article will be discussed further at a special town meeting in November. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news. Welcome back. The Recreation Department's annual Trunk or Treat event will be held next Saturday, October 24th. Recreation Programming Director Christina Grande has all the information you'll need to participate in this year's Trunk or Treat.
Hi Norwood. For those of you who have not met me, my name is Christina Grande. I am the new Recreation Programming Coordinator here at the Norwood Recreation Department. I'm here today to talk about Trunk or Treat on Saturday, October 24th. Trunk or Treat is going to be a drive-through this year given the circumstances of COVID-19. All children will be handed a goodie bag at the end of the drive-through by a staff member wearing PPE. This event will be held at the Skating Club of Boston in Norwood. We want to thank them for their partnership. And lastly, all proceeds for this event are being donated to the food pantry, so thank you for your participation. Bye Norwood.
The Rec Department is also hosting 2 skating nights for parents and high school students. For more on this, we go to Assistant Recreation Superintendent Katie Seastead.
Hi Norwood, Katie Seastead here. Going to talk about 2 events that are coming up the next 2 Fridays. First one is October 23rd, our Parents' Night Out for grades 2 through 6 at the Skating Club of Boston. Each participant, it's $15, which includes skates. If you don't have it, if you don't have them, we encourage you to bring your own. However, we will have rentals available if needed. Registration starts on the 16th at 9 a.m. And then our second one is for our high school students. We are doing a high school skate night on Friday, October 30th. So we have 2 time slots for our high school students to come skate. It's $15 per person. That will include a $10 voucher to the 1240 Cafe, which is their snack area and snack shack. We look forward to having this wonderful partnership with the Skating Club of Boston. Once again, October 23rd, Parents' Night Out from 6 to 8:30 at the Skating Club of Boston. All participants must know how to skate. And then our second event is Friday, October 30th, with 2 time slots for all of our high school students to come and skate. If you have any questions, please call us at 781-762-0466. Thanks, Norwood.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.